Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the trading table. This is Andrew. Joining with me is Landon, and today we're going to be going over some of the biggest movers of the market, what to watch for tomorrow, and more. Looking at our heat map here for the S&P 500, right? Absolute bloodbath today. Japan's market crashed. Our market came pretty close to crashing. There's threats of the U.S. moving into a recession. I'm pretty sure Japan had to halt trading. If we just take a look at Nikkei real quick, we can see that, this move definitely not good. If we hop out to a bigger time frame, right? I mean, look at that. That is not normal. Definitely not normal. Definitely not called for, right? This is probably the steepest move, I think, in Japan's economy's history. And there's a lot of contributing factors to kind of go into that right now. But yeah, SPY kind of had some of those effects, right? On Sunday, we were watching ES, which is SPY's futures, right? So they opened Sunday at 6 p.m. and they were just absolutely sliding as well, right? If we go to a larger time frame here and we go to kind of the start of the Sunday market, right? We gapped down and just started sliding. So we're definitely in a downtrend right now with SPY. A lot of people might say, we went up today, whatever. But if we go out to a bigger time frame, right, and just clean up the chart a little bit, we can see that we're definitely in a very clear-cut downtrend, okay? The market's making lower highs and lower lows. So that's literally the definition of a downtrend. Today was just honestly most likely a pullback. I need to see a little bit more evidence of an uptrend before I say we're in an uptrend. And as you can see in my chart right here, before I kind of hit all the drawings, this is kind of my zone that I want to see SPY break above and kind of stay above to kind of confirm that we're no longer in a downtrend, right? So this zone right here, we want to see price kind of stay above this zone. But until then, we're definitely in a downtrend, and all today was to me this kind of bull run we had, the bulls coming back. A lot of people think bulls are coming back. I'm almost certain that this was just a pullback, and we're going to actually keep pushing lower. Obviously, that could not be the case. We could open tomorrow at 530. The VIX is super high, so the market doesn't follow trends, as it normally does with a normal VIX, right? Around like 8 a.m., we saw the VIX all the way at 65. To put that into perspective, the last time we were at 65 was COVID, right? So as you can see here, COVID had a peak of like 85, and we just had a peak of 65. That was higher than not higher than, but it was almost like the housing market crash in 08, right? It was kind of like at those levels. So there's a lot of bad things going around the U.S. economy right now. The dollar is just declining super quickly. Crypto's crashing. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of things in motion. So my advice, honestly, is just be careful trading SPY or anything under the S&P 500. As the VIX, stays around like this 38 level, if we can, stay here and we don't really break down lower, we could see a lot of short-term volatility, and there could be like a candle on some stocks where it hits your take profit and stop loss in one candle. It starts looking like crypto in the stock market, and we do not want to see the market look like crypto. VIX super, super high right now, which is unfortunate, right? A lot of people's long-term accounts just got melted. But in other news, stocks that are up, right? Those boys over at Lockheed Martin, you know what I mean? They're absolutely firing right now. At open, they were at 562. TradingView doesn't show it. Robinhood has like the 24-hour market. We were at like 576 in the 24-hour market. So, Lockheed Martin's going to keep going up, right? As war and tensions in the Middle East kind of escalate, you got defense stocks, just being valued a lot more because it's kind of obvious that they're going to see a lot more business if the U.S. gets involved in war. So Landon has the latest details on that, and he'll be going over that later in the video. But just keep in mind, war is good for Lockheed Martin. War is not good for the dollar or the rest of the U.S. economy, right? We don't really want to see war. In other news, though, in aftermarket, it kind of looks like ES is starting a uptrend. We do have a kind of resistance here on 528.2, or 5,282. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, just watch out for that. We could, bounce off of that and kind of have something similar happen again, or, maybe we could break through it. But it's just going to need a lot of attention right now when the VIX is this high and market's super unpredictable. which is why I don't really have a concrete decision. As the dollar kind of like, blows up and decreases, though, I kind of have gold to the upside, right? The dollar, if we take a look at the 3-month chart here, I mean, look at this dump today, right? Starting Friday and moving into Sunday, the dollar has just been crashing. We went all the way from 104 to 102 on the DXY. Definitely not a normal move. We don't really like seeing that, right? And if we take out a trend line here, and we kind of just, pull it down, 2% on the dollar in 3 days is kind of crazy, okay? There's not many instances where it moves like that. You got some exceptions in there of it moving up, but it moving down like that, not a really good sign. So if you're a long-term investor, don't panic, don't sell everything. The people who got hurt the most in the COVID-19 crash and the 2008 crash were the people who just fear sold. The market will rebound, okay? Buyers are going to come in and start eating this dip. And to be honest, I think this Saturday we're probably going to be releasing a video on, some stocks to buy the dip out. Just because everything is on sale. Just think about it from a good perspective. Everything is on sale right now. Everything's a good price. I mean, Bitcoin was like 50,000 today. If you bought that, you'd already be up like, I think 2%, 3%-ish. So, just take it as an opportunity to buy in, maybe open some long-term positions. Obviously, that is super risky because who knows, we could slide lower. If I had to take a guess with SPY, I would say that, it is possible that we see the 500, or sorry, not the 500, the 510 to 500 level, right? Definitely very possible in these next coming weeks until we get some, good bullishness. And I also saw like there was a chart where whenever we have rate cuts coming, so keep in mind it's most likely that we're going to have rate cuts in September, that the market kind of dumps before that happens and a little bit after before it finally recovers. But just know, when we do recover, we are making a new all-time high. I feel like this pullback was kind of necessary. The market kind of needs to correct. We've just been on a bull run, and apologies for my chart looking super messy there. I got my support and resistance lines up, but yeah. The market kind of needs to correct itself. We've been having a huge bull run up, and if we go out to the day chart, right, we can see we're still in an uptrend. If we were to break under this, 494 area, then, sound the bells. It's time that everyone just starts tweaking. But until then, I'm kind of still kind of certain we're in an uptrend. You could argue though that, the breaking of this, low right here, or higher low, could be the break of it. Don't get me wrong, we are in a downtrend. Has the market crashed and where everyone's gonna burn and die? No. Okay, we're probably gonna rebound off of this 500 support, if anything, if we even make it that low. But I'm telling you guys right now, we hit that 500 support. Take out a loan. Okay, boom, SPY calls expiring in like 2 months. We'll be chilling. Promise you guys. So just going off of historical data, right? Every time we've, hit 500 or, came back down to 500, right? We might have dropped below for a second, but, we immediately kind of went back up after like a month or two, right? So definitely not you got good risk reward here. All right. Honestly, I want to see SPY go to 500. I'd like to see SPY go to 500 so I can just start buying and eating the dip. And it's definitely very possible. Definitely could come in the future here. Looking at Intel today, I know we were talking about Intel in the last video about how we opened a long-term position. Obviously, I'm not worried about this at all. I've got like almost 7 to 7.5 months on the contract. So, me and Landon are just sitting back and buying the dip. Nothing to really be too worried about here. Obviously, we're going to keep seeing some bearishness, but when the market corrects, Intel will correct, right? It's not very normal that a stock like Intel in this booming economy of semiconductors is at a price it was in 2013. That's not very normal at all, and it was due to earnings as well. And, yes, they did miss their EPS pretty bad, their revenue not so much, but we could definitely see Intel make a comeback. I think it's very possible. It's just with all this bearishness right now, especially with NVIDIA, Intel more correlates closely to Dell, and then Dell correlates to Microsoft. So think of Microsoft as the grandfather stock to Intel. But, as we see kind of Intel just chop around, a lot of these tech stocks chop around a bit, it is very possible that, when the market does correct itself and start moving back up, we will shoot really high with Intel due to the correction that we will see. But let's go ahead and jump over to Landon now for some of our big money plays for today.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. In terms of Intel, definitely as soon as the tech sector starts to strengthen again, we could see Intel, rise, and I guess that's kind of what we're betting on here. But in terms of big money was firing today. We had about one, two, three, four, five, six big money plays called out from the bot, and I guess that's just kind of from big money seeing these moves, and it helps with their theories and strategies, just because you can kind of tell after a big move like this whether you want to buy the dip or you kind of want to continue playing uh, the drop, right? So for our first one being for ticker symbol MU, and you can see what I mean here by continuing to play the drop. So basically, the play here for this one, it's a put option contract, strike of 80, expiration of 8/9, 2024. Total premium count 1.2 million, and a total volume of 6K. Really solid data there. That's a lot of money going into this. And with an expiration of 8/9, 2024, basically what they're doing here is kind of betting that in the next day or so, we're going to continue to downtrend. And, they just want to make quick money. It's a very short term play. Um, and with the whole thing that's going on in the Middle East, actually, I think we have breaking news right now that several U.S. personnel have been injured in a rocket attack against a U.S. military base in Iraq. So basically, a U.S. military base was attacked in Iraq by Iranian proxies. So that just goes to show you that things in the Middle East are heating up rapidly, and I mean that's why the stock market right now is plummeting, because people are scared and don't want to invest their money due to this risk. Um, but that's kind of why they made this short term. Because they're playing the fear, right? They're playing the fear of the market, and when there's fear, there's money to be made. Same thing when there's greed. Just depends on how you play it. Moving on to our next one is for ticker symbol IBM, and this one is a put option contract as well. Um, for ticker symbol IBM. At a strike of 175, expiration of 117, 2025, total premium count of 1.2 million, and total volume of 2K. And for this one, basically, this one's a little like non-related to what's going on currently. This big money play is basically they just don't like the business model of IBM, and they're kind of just yeah, they think in the future this stock's going to continue to downtrend. Not strong. Overall, just bad. International Business Machines Corporation. They're not loving it. But not my favorite play all around, just because um, with the tech sector kind of low right now, playing puts for the long term isn't the smartest move, just because as a whole, tech will rebound eventually. And, playing puts on the long term for tech, that doesn't really make too much sense. So, not my favorite play there. But moving on to our next one is for ticker symbol ASML. And this one is a call option contract for a strike of 950, expiration of 10/18/2024, total premium count 1.23 million, and a total volume of 512. Pretty low volume there. That's because premiums are super expensive. And I mean, the bot called this one at 10:53 a.m. And I mean, an absolute banger play from the bot here, just straight upwards movement. Congratulations to everyone that was able to get into this play, because it's just straight profit. Um, and you do actually have some time on these contracts. So if you want to continue to hold, I would, depending on how many contracts you did go ahead and buy, would start to kind of scale out, just because you are profitable. And with how volatile the market is right now, you never know. Especially if Iran is to, do a full on invasion or attack of Israel. We could see the market to continue to go down. So I would, start to scale out pretty heavily. You can leave some runners just to see if you can make a few extra dollars profit. Expiration 10/18 leaves you some time, but really not a lot. But moving on to our next one, it's for ticker symbol ACHC, and this one is a call option contract for a strike of 75, expiration of 12/20/2024, total premium count 700K, total volume of 1.24K. And this is a basically a prime example of them kind of buying that dip. And overall, healthcare always seems to be kind of stable, doesn't play too much into, you know, um, what's going on currently in the market and then world news. That's why they didn't move way too much after the Iranian news. Um, but this one, basically, what they're doing is if you go out to the 6 month chart, you can see they're kind of low, um, and they're just kind of buying a dip and playing that move upwards back to that all time high. Moving on to our next one is for ticker symbol PYPL or PayPal. And this one's a put option contract for a strike of 57.5, expiration of 11/15/2024. Total premium count of 650K, total volume of 1.72K. Um, and this one's all right. Not my favorite. This one they're basically just playing business model again and not really liking the entire business model. We're not really, at a overpriced level. It's not my favorite playing puts, especially with an expiration of 11/15. We could see it to continue going down, but more than likely, I think we'll actually be going upwards just because we are kind of low. Um, but overall, not my favorite. If you guys aren't really big fans of PayPal, this could be a pretty good play for you. But this one's again just kind of a business model thing, depending on whether you like it or not. But moving on to our final one, it's actually for ticker symbol DKNG or DraftKings, right? And this one's a put option contract as well, with a strike of 30, expiration of 11/15/2024, total premium count of 615K, and a total volume of 2K. Pretty solid data there. What we're seeing here is, they're kind of, compared to our April and October levels, back in 2022 to 2023, we're kind of high. So basically, what they're saying here with this big money play is that we're gonna eventually get back down to those levels. Um, and another thing is, these like, sports betting on your phone is kind of gonna die down. That sort of hype. So we're gonna get back down to those levels, and that's what they're betting on. Which actually could be a pretty solid play. Just because with Prize Picks last year and stuff like that, there was a lot of hype behind like sports betting, right? Because it got legalized in a lot of states and things like that. So that's why they were up last year. But overall, we could see it go back to those 2022, 2023 levels. But other than that, that's all for big money plays. And back to you, Andrew.
Yeah, Landon, like you were saying with the Intel play and the first big money play we had for MU, you kind of want to be buying the fear here and selling the euphoria, right? That's kind of what you want to be doing. And for those of you who don't know what that means, a lot of fear in the market right now. So take advantage of that, right? Market could keep going down. And then when everyone's like, oh my God, we're at such a low level, I'm going to buy everything, sell. So pretty simple there, easier said than done. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and take a look at our earnings for this week, which is actually super quiet. So we're going to be pretty quick with it. Looking at our earnings for this week, right? Like I said yesterday, just quiet, boring. Thank God. Way too much going on this week to have a super volatile earnings week. After close today, we had Palantir report. Looks like they did good. They are up 11%. So all those Palantir long-term shareholders are probably doing pretty well right now. Other than that, though, tomorrow before open, we've got Cat, Uber. Only two I really see there. Maybe Celsius. Not a whole lot going on. And then after close, we've got Airbnb, just to name one. SMCI, this should affect IWM. So if any of you are playing IWM, watch out for that. I'm pretty sure that's their top holding. Rivian's also reporting. Cart is reporting as well. So I don't know. I've seen this one on Twitter quite a bit. Not really sure who they are, but yeah. I'm pretty sure that's actually Instacart, now that I think about it. Shopify's before open on Wednesday. Disney, Novo Nordisk. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our economic calendar, which is actually super quiet for this week. But there is one thing I do want to go over. So today we did have ISM data come out that kind of is, that came out at 10, right? And if we go ahead and take a look at SPY at 10, that kind of like almost like saved the market from just dropping super low, right? This huge green candle here was a result of the ISM data. We then corrected, but it kind of threw us into an uptrend. So shout out to ISM data for not ruining everyone's long-term accounts and not causing people at Wall Street to jump off of buildings. But tomorrow we're all in the clear. Nothing for tomorrow. Rest of the week is just super boring besides like initial jobless claims, and that's before market opens, so you don't even got to really worry about that. I do think there is a Fed meeting, but I don't think it's a very important one. Let me just double check. Okay, so that's actually it actually happened at 5 p.m. today. So yeah, this one doesn't really affect much because he's just a Fed member. Whenever you see like Fed chair or FOMC chair, that's when you know like something's going on. You know, it's time to like lock in. Everyone, put their straight face on. But when a Fed member speaks, it's not super important. But other than that, yeah, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the trading table. Be sure to check out our free Discord. Link is in description, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at market close.